Okay. So, are we ready?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, one sec. Let me get my beer.
This dude's fucking drinking during his interview.
User joined your channel.
I already got one.
Yo, Proto, did you listen to the interview
User
with
was
Elu?
moved to your channel.
I read it.
Oh, there it was voice.
User
it was like
was
all
moved to your
serious.
What was the point of me locking the channel?
I don't fucking know.
Is this
Done.
one transcribed or recorded?
This one, he's probably he recorded the Elu one.
We have like 5 million people in here. It's gonna be AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I would just keep it.
I'm just gonna sit back. You guys talk. You got this.
Yo, Zan and Reed Guild chat. Don't fuck it up.
Oh, I just got the Dell ship money.
Yo, I got a lot of prestige. I don't know about this whole siege thing.
We got 149 golds.
I guess I can just spend it on stuff I'm gonna use in the future.
Proto, will you send me a mail?
Sure. Charge back. Shitty.
All right, what's up? Shit, there's a lot of people in here.
They're not talking.
Okay.
Are you? Do you feel intimidated?
Kind of. I don't know what you guys think about me.
Whoa! What the fuck? Yo, I just jumped in the air on a just slightly elevated hill in Windscour and backdropped, and I went flying across the map and almost died.
I've done that. That's.
Wow.
Nice. All right, so let's get this started off. This is Curious News, doing an interview with some TT6 members. The ever longly waited interview. That's a word. And then Proto's here for some reason. All right, so let's just start this off with the first question. I've been asking literally everybody in every single interview. What do you think about the alliance between the East and the West right now? What is your opinion on it?
Basically, it has to be done.
Okay, and everybody who is here talking, feel free to hop in and elaborate on each other's points and get some discussion going, if you
It
may.
has to be done because individually, the Pirates can beat and outlast Catalyst as far as coverage and numbers, and as well as us. We, as far as two different alliances, we have very limited coverage, and we have to be able to beat them when we are actually active, and without each other we wouldn't be able to beat the whole Pirates faction. And they'll bring out numbers, and we just run out of resources to bring. Like, there's really nothing left on the east and not much left on the west that can really be brought into that.
Yeah, there's not enough. There's not enough people that are playing on East faction that are like-minded to get shit done. That's one of the biggest problems.
But basically, the East by itself cannot be pirates. The West by themselves cannot be pirates. So we must work together to fight pirates. And sometimes we win.
Yeah, I think they've kind of grown into this just mega faction, and
User joined your
I
channel.
don't think either East or West wants to just. We're not interested in forming some crazy alliance that's just gonna break the server, but we also don't want to see that happen from another faction. So I don't know. If you look at the history on Kyrios, there has been alliances between all three factions at some point or another. In Kyrios history, and there's always been a need for it, and they always change and go away and come up when needed again. I feel like.
Yep, it was always to create balance.
And
Every
once,
time it happened.
once the pirates, are not as big of a threat as they are now, then there will be no more. It'll go back to business as usual, a three-way fight.
Yeah, and even outside of very select events, I mean, all the end game, like the world bosses and whatnot, we still fight each other. We still go fuck with each other's rifts. We'll still, we can steal each other's trade packs. We'll still fire on each other. Like, as long as the pirates aren't involved, we can still go at it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As long as we get our permission slip from Igloo.
Don't forget to call him Master.
Master Igloo, sorry.
So what do you guys think would? So do you think? Okay, from your perspective, because I know Elu said you guys were getting shit done, but then Jet Black said that you guys weren't getting shit done. Do you guys think you're getting shit done as an alliance?
Oh, we're getting shit done. We're taking Anth down. We're taking Kraken some days. I don't know. The pirates get a lot done, yeah, but it's pretty pretty good so far.
We've been working on Delphi ships. We've gotten.
Yeah, that's true. We just took
bunch
2 down yesterday.
Yeah, we don't get them as much as the pirates because the pirates have, full raid force. They're on at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning doing fucking Delph ships. I'm sorry, but I'm going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not
Yeah,
staying
I
up
think
for.
that's one of the other differences is that our faction seems to have a lot more people that have day jobs, and I don't know if that's the case or not. With what we see from pirates that are up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
The pirates,
Central
like
time.
I said, yeah, they just
It's
have
crazy.
they have a huge amount of coverage. Like, I mean, go ship at 4 a.m., no problem. Anthon at 5:30 a.m., no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as getting shit done individually, yeah, individually Catalyst will get some stuff done, and individually we'll get some stuff done. We're not always at everything together, and we'll get stuff done. It's just a matter of overall, the pirates are usually gonna be out there contesting it, or we have to go contest them, and it's very hard to take on their nation with what we got. We're on our faction at least, and it may be the same over on the west side, is that we're rebuilding. We have a lot of people that are in these guilds that haven't been involved in this kind of thing. They aren't as familiar with how we do the raid PvP, so some of our mage balls suffered a little bit, and as far as boss mechanics, some of them are still new to that, and they need some training. So that's the other side of the coin of getting back to the three-way is re-strengthening what we have to work with, as well as weakening the pirates in their current state.
What you didn't notice is that Warden and TT6 are two very, very different guilds.
Oh, I
yet,
noticed.
And yet we're still allied together for some of the same reasons. It's because when they first came here, PRX was fighting them for a month straight, constantly killing each other. And just through that, friendships formed, just through mutual respect. And also because there's, like we said, there's not a lot of people to pull from to get stuff done.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the faction that we have to work with, I think the East is, not necessarily the East, but our alliance is definitely getting some shit done.
Yeah, and I feel like our alliance has tried reaching out to the East numerous times, and there's always some reason why they either don't want to work with us, or they think they can't, or they want to put conditions on it. I mean, we've gone to the length of giving away a red dragon weapon, as you know, and Nappy recently gave away a Kraken glider
I wouldn't
to
say
some
giving
dude.
away, just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe poor choice of words, but everybody knows what I mean. I mean, our alliance was out there at that red dragon. We were there for 2 hours. Then we called in some of the faction. We invited them to come, and it was an even roll every guild that was present, whether you had 2 members there or 50. It didn't matter.
It was the right thing to do, for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I'm just saying, now we're like, hey, come out. You're welcome to come out with us. And what's the response we get? No, you guys won't share loot with us. So it's like, it's just ridiculous, and I feel like it's just kind of a waste of time at this point.
So I know on the West, I guess you guys probably know this too, but a lot of the West dislikes Catalyst and does not want to help them. They don't like how they do stuff. They don't like how they treat the faction. What's that kind of dynamic like on the East? Does the East Pug kind of they don't really have anything against you. They just don't really fit your play style, and they don't
They
want to work
fucking
with you.
hate us.
Or
They
they hate you
absolutely hate
guys. They
us.
hate you guys too. All right.
Well, we treat them with the same contempt that I'm sure the Catalyst treats a lot of the West. You know, like
Fuck 'em.
while we're out there spending hours popping pots, you know, not being able to sit around and hang around and wait for GR, CR, and do, you know, all my Care Bear trade runs and stuff like that. You know, I'm out there trying to make sure I can do my part in making sure the Pirates don't have a free ride everywhere. And I'm sure that there's a lot of West that are doing the same thing. And so you know, there's a certain sense of entitlement and there's a certain sense of just not respecting people that won't take it upon themselves to make a difference.
So, how do you guys think you differ from Catalyst when it comes to treating your own faction, or when it comes to how you treat your own faction?
I'm not really too familiar with how
Well-
Catalyst treats the faction. I know that we troll our own faction quite a
Well,
bit more.
it's different. I wouldn't speak. TT6 treats the faction a lot different than Paradigm or Warden. TT6 basically will kill. Green pirates, as people like to call it. We'll kill anybody. It doesn't fucking matter. We play the game for PvP. We're not going to restrict ourselves because someone's green or red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Wardens has, they're more friendly. I believe, I don't know, Proto can elaborate on it. They have a KOS list. They do kill people in their list. And I know Paradigm is, they're
Yeah,
like-
Warden's definitely a PvP guild, but we just wait for people to fuck up before we kill them.
And I think
We
Proto,
just
your
don't go
list
actively looking for
your
them.
list is pretty long, I believe.
yeah, I mean the biggest difference between us and other guilds, and it's different degrees, of course. Like Wardens has a pretty hefty kill on site list. We don't really have a kill on site list. We just kind of have a be nice list. That's kind of like the difference between TP6 and other guilds.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I didn't really plan ahead for this. I'm just kind of going with this on the fly. So you guys seem to be experiencing a lot of the same stuff that Catalyst is, with the faction not wanting to work with you. The faction, or you guys thinking the faction is like incompetent and useless or whatever it may be, and in turn they don't want to work with you or help you, or yeah. So it's like a two-way streak.
Except for we've tried it before.
Tried a lot.
Okay.
We've tried working with the whole faction when we had what Catalyst affectionately calls the Reset Alliance.
Yeah.
You know, that was when, you know, Daedra's crew pulled together, Not Biased, House of Manas, TT6, PRX, Grit, got everybody to work together. Nickel and Dime guilds were, you know, coming out with us and everything like that. And the best thing we did was break up that alliance and go off our own with PRX and Grit, because we were able to control a smaller amount of members, but we were able to actually be a lot more potent instead of having all that chaos of just people that won't listen. They won't get in TeamSpeak. They won't buff. They go off and they do their own things. They squirrel everywhere. It's a lot. More is not necessarily better.
Yeah. Okay. So, what would you think you would have to do? So say there was no Catalyst in East Alliance, right? What do you think you guys would have to do in order to, like, get your own faction to come together and work together and be strong enough to, like, put up a good fight, I guess?
I don't know if that would ever happen.
Do you think it's
Reroll
just like-
Morpheus.
You can lead a horse to water, they say. You know what I mean? It's not, you can't force a player to change their habits in game or what they prefer to do. I don't think the East is worthless. Like, I think that everybody has their place. People are going to play how they want to play, and you can't change that about them. You can maybe educate them about the benefits of what it is to actually progress your character
Yeah.
beyond just doing trade runs and shit. I think that a lot of people just don't know the game enough, because the game is just so, it just teaches you nothing. It just throws you in, and you have to just learn everything through experience. So I think there are a lot of players that fall into that.
See, I feel like that's where the East and the West kind of differ, is like you guys basically have your top players, which are people who your top players are all the players basically that do the stuff. So that's like the Warden, TT6, and whoever else, and Paradigm. Whereas the West has, like, its top players, but its top players are split between Catalyst and then all of the top players that hate Catalyst, right? So
Yeah, I think that's more true. Like, that's a pretty good analysis. I feel like the West has
it's kind of
pretty good
split more.
players in guilds that aren't Catalyst, and the East has some of that, but
Yeah.
not to the extent that the West does.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
you
like,
guys have the few like who's the guy who got the red dragon bow?
Dawson.
Someone
Dossie.
from Team Rocket. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dawson.
like I know he like is like a monster at all the world events that I see him at. Like whenever he kills me like 7 times every single time I go to Miss Marrow. So like you guys have people like that, but those are like the few.
Well,
Whereas
yeah, we also have Conquistador Realm and Supremacia. All they do is fishing, and you have
Yeah.
people in there with 6K gear scores, but they never do anything, and they never
Yeah.
come out to anything.
I can see how that
Likewise,
would be
the
frustrating.
and I don't know if this is like this on the East, but the West, but the East has a lot of people that are sub 3K gear score that are running around with like every costume that's ever come out in an RNG box and like cars.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
With
Yep.
chateau mansions and shit.
Yep.
Hmm.
They own like 20 pieces of property and they have tier 1 heroic obsidian gear.
I don't know. I haven't really noticed much of that on the east, but then on the west. But then again, I haven't really looked.
They're
Like,
all
I
over the
can bring it
east.
Austera right now. We can start looking at them. I can start calling them out. Like they're all over the place.
yeah, like I know there's definitely people who don't have good gear, and there's definitely people who are kind of
Or, like,
dumb and don't really
people
do
who
stuff.
No,
but-
there's
Mythic
people-
Scepters running like Dark Runner and stuff.
Gee, I wonder who that is. Barb? Yo, but no, it's more like there's people that, like Chargeback said, literally have 20 plots of
Yeah.
land in Rookborn. We know them, and they're running around with a 3,300 gear score, and they've had
Yeah.
that land for, I don't know, 6 months minimum.
I gotcha. So okay, so you say you kind of understand the difference between the east and the west. So like that was the reason I didn't want to exactly ask this question at first, because I feel like it would be kind of hard to answer. But you say you kind of get how the west and the east differ. What do you think Catalyst could do in order to fix their relationship with the faction, or make it so that the west and Catalyst could like have a better relationship in general?
Well,
Stop griefing?
didn't last time they did it, they paid them or gave them Delph ships, which basically is money. I mean, most guilds,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think they did do that.
like
That's-
most guilds will do shit if they're going to directly benefit
Yeah.
off of it immediately.
Yes.
Like whenever we ask guilds to come help us, what do we get? Are we getting loot? That's their first question.
So
Yeah,
you
like-
think they should basically pay us and bribe us?
Well, no,
No,
like you receive loot. You know,
Yeah.
if you're gonna go, you get your share of loot.
Oh yeah. I get what you're saying. Like offer us something in exchange, like what they did with Fire Nation and Pacifist in exchange for their help at
But
World
it's also
Bosses
like
and
what
stuff like
it's
that.
also like what Proto says. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And there's people that are on the West that have good gear. I mean, there's Kittens, for Christ's sake, who has got one of the probably the best boats on the server, and they could definitely utilize them. But those people, they know that they can go out there and know they can reach out to Catalyst to do stuff with them. But like whatever they got going on with the West, we're not. TT6 is absolutely in the worst position to tell any guild how to get along with somebody else.
Yeah.
But they
And
need,
Q helps the pirates indirectly by coming and attacking us during engagements with them, not even
Well,
realizing it.
you-
It's
Kittens and Cute work together with Catalyst a lot now, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's really Kittens. I think it's like the pug that Kittens controls.
To my knowledge, it's like Kittens is like going out and like looking to work with Catalyst, because he is like, I don't know, I guess that's just kind of what he's changed his interest in playing to.
Yeah,
I
mean,
know like
that's
Catalyst
a
really respects
perspective
Kittens
that
for
we just don't have that same perspective because all we know about them is like we don't spend any time on your continent at all, and
Mhm.
we barely ever go out to your events to fuck with them, like maybe once or twice a week, if that. But at the same time, like when we are at Delph ships and we're at Kraken and we're at Anthelon, all I'm seeing is Catalyst, a handful of gank busts, and I know Mercenaries has been showing up here and there, and the occasional pug, but I certainly haven't seen Kittens.
really.
No,
Well,
they've been around a few
yeah,
times.
I'm not arguing here. I'm just trying to tell you, like he definitely does come out to a lot of stuff, every Red Dragon I've gone to, I've seen kittens there. He comes out to Anthlon.
We hardly ever even go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
From what I know and from my experience and from what Catalyst says they like kittens because he does come out and do shit with them. He's offered to come out and help, and so yeah. So what when do you think, I feel like it's a pretty obvious answer, but still I'd like to hear it. When do you think the alliance between Catalyst and the East will fizzle out and end?
I think that
When Master Elu says it's over.
yeah, when Leanne stops coming in and whispering to me at 5 in the morning.
What I think is going to happen is our goal is to deny them as much content, but we're kind of having the adverse side effect is we're giving them more entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because they're still winning a lot of the engagements, they're still getting a lot of the loot, and they're getting fights out of it now instead of just like us.
At the same time, it is fun.
It is fun for us too.
Yeah, it is.
So it's probably going to keep going around and around until the server just there's got to be a dynamic switch.
Mhm.
So I mean, we've already we already hit rock bottom as far as like losing a lot of memberships and all the guilds, and we've been building back up. So we've already been there. Catalyst, their side with Gank Bus and Gank Bus imploding and all that stuff, they've kind of already gone through it. Either the pirates need to go through it, or they need to have some sort of internal struggle, or when transfers open up and a power just sets off one side to be even more powerful than the other, and hopefully it's not pirates.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
a big change when transfers come in.
Yeah, I think the next dynamic shift will be when transfers come.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very probable. I feel like every side just wants to enjoy the game. Like if we were going out and just killing Delph ships and pirates came and tried to attack us, and like they brought 20 people and we just mopped the floor with them, and it just literally became us going and killing them every day, like took us 20 minutes, we wouldn't stay in an alliance under that. And I don't think Catalyst would either. Like we like fighting, like we like having good fights. And on the other end of that, we don't like either going out by ourselves to fight pirates and have it be 70 pirates versus our 30. So it's like, that's how the alliance was formed, and it does create more balance on the server, and the end game
I agree.
content that's being done has been more balanced for sure. And when that balance goes away, it'll change again. It just does.
And as I've mentioned before to you, is that if a lot of people bitch about it, especially the pirates. I mean, they say like, "Oh, we're not bitching. It just shows how afraid you are." I mean, I think that's a Jet Black quote. And people that are uninvolved, they bitch about it. It's like, "Oh, you're working with Reds, ooh." Like, that's the most evil thing in the world. And you know how I feel about like loyalty to people that chose the same character creation. That's fucking bullshit. But on the other side of the coin, what if they never took out player nations? What if we were a player nation? Nobody bitched again. Okay, now we're just another faction fighting another faction.
Yeah,
Right?
People cling to this whole green on green thing. Like it's like they clicked a button when they created their character, and all of a sudden, every single person that clicked that same button is just automatically their friend, and they just don't get it.
Faction loyalty is one of the stupidest things that I think people cling to in this game, and I think I mean, I've been on other servers, and particularly Olo. We came from a culture where it didn't matter whether you were green or red. You allied with who you got along with and who you wanted to work with.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
See-
Give me guild war declaration stones
See,
from Ultima Online, please.
When we came,
Oh my god,
when
hell
we came
yeah.
to
That would be
Curios,
amazing.
when we came to Curios, when TT6 came to Curios, like they were so against killing greens. Like literally on Olo, it was whatever guild you were allied with, that was the only people that didn't kill you. That's how it was, and that was fun. It was really fun.
And this server is very, very faction oriented. People will just stout-heartedly just like, oh, I'm doing this for the West, or I'm doing this for the East, or I'm doing this for my faction. And like when we came over, like we are who we are, and when we started stealing people's shit, like people lost their shit. Like they actually shat flocks of geese. They were so just taken aback by the fact that people flagged up. I was in TeamSpeak on a PRX TeamSpeak. I remember when we first tried to start working with them before we ended up working with them for real. And I remember when one of us purpled, somebody their fucking baby just got stolen, screamed out loud in TeamSpeak, "Oh my god, they're purpling!"
See, in my opinion, I don't I personally don't see anything wrong with the East and West alliance. So I can understand that, but when it comes to the faction loyalty thing, my viewpoint on that is like that's like a part of the game. Like that is because it just seems like that's how the game is meant to be played. Like you're supposed to, you have your faction, like you chose your faction. Obviously, you don't have to like everybody in your faction, but I feel like it should still like you should have like some sort of faction pride, in a
I don't think
sense.
that it's. I think that's absolutely a waste of time. I think the only time
Really?
that ever. I think that if you look at the times that we have in a 24-hour period of Arcade, you're talking about Halcyona and Miss Marrow. You're not talking. Everything else is like it doesn't have to be a faction event. It
Yeah.
doesn't,
Mhm.
and it shouldn't even be.
It's
Like
true.
world
Yeah.
bosses,
Yep.
Luskas, even Sea Graves. I mean that's got a touch of the faction thing, but for the rest of the game, everything else, the other 22 hours of the game or whatever, or 21 hours,
Uh huh.
it's it should be like, hey, we're making deals and we're making agreements with these other guilds to get shit done because that's how people work and that's how people
Yeah.
get.
Now that you say that,
I
that
think
does. Yeah,
I
I
think
get
the
what you're
fact
saying.
that you actually can choose to do that, work with the other faction, or make deals, or the whole political aspect of the game and or financial aspect of the game, I think it adds a lot to the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Rather than just say, hey, you're with your faction, you can never work with anyone else unless they're your faction. I think that would be kind of boring.
If they never put a bloodlust option in this game, I don't think I would have been playing it much beyond like alpha.
Yeah, yeah, I think I would probably feel the same way.
All right. Um, let's see. So, Angriff.
Yo.
Uh, why were the White Angels the most powerful bomber group in Curious History? I've heard they were pretty legit.
Well,
Like they tore shit up.
so yeah, so the answer to your question is Sorcerer is actually a genius level intelligence, and he realized that his idea was so stupid that nobody else ever in the history of the game would ever create another bomber group. So he can now go around forever for the rest of his life saying he ran the most successful bomber group in Arcade ever on any region, any server, anywhere.
Wait. Okay, that's not what I expected. What the fuck was the White Angels? Like seriously.
Dude, it was a retarded bomber group that Sorcerer made for sieges and stuff, and it was like 25 people, and he forced all those people to fly their gliders in sieges and use their bombs rather
Oh
than like
no,
actually fight.
that's
For the
awful.
record, despite what people said after he quit, I am not his old.
I don't know, dude. You have some similarities to him. I'll talk to you about
You
those
sound
later.
similar to
You
him
should probably
from
correct.
the
You
interview.
should probably correct those behavior patterns.
All right. I'm thinking of some questions to ask. I had a couple. Um. So did you guys answer what I said? What do you guys think Catalyst could do to repair some of the relationships? Okay, let's change the question. Not with their faction, but with the people in the guilds that dislike them and don't want to work with them.
I don't know enough about like I am just hearing some tidbits and drippings of like what happened between
Okay.
some of the people in Gankbus and Catalyst. Honestly, like you have to understand that from our point of view, all Catalyst and Gankbus were the people that we had to toffle for the first 5 months that we were on this server, and they had some shit happen, and we actually had a really good three-way system, and we were fighting them just as much as the pirates. And as we had a lot of people either flip pirate or quit the game altogether, they had their things going on, and we really weren't paying attention to their drama. If somebody else on the channel knows more about it, they can comment on it. But all I'm saying is that I don't know enough about what happened, so I couldn't offer any like meaningful insight other than some bullshit that is totally misconstrued because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Um. So, what is the most fun you guys think you've ever had playing arcades? Like what like era of arcade? What
Launch.
launch?
Yeah, like launch and alpha was awesome.
When everybody was everywhere.
Yeah,
Alpha.
yeah, definitely. The population.
Definitely the first month or two of Curious.
Yeah, it's just the population. There was so many more people and so much more going on.
Yeah.
I think the game's it's gotten better. There was definitely a dull or a lag for me in like entertainment value, but it's been pretty fun lately, especially since we've been out contesting and like there's been some nice battles and stuff going on.
There's been some pinpoint times that have been really fun, outside of like just an era like the first few months or alpha. For example, when we were still on Olo, right when we flipped back from Pirate, by the time TT6 was done there was only 14 activists left, and we kind of merged in. Guild merged into us, and we took about, I don't know, 8 or 9 people in, and when we came back to the West faction after being Pirate for months and months, they forgot about tractor blocking. And when we started kicking up the tractor blocking, one of our members stole 150 packs the first 2 days of being back just from blowing up carts. That was probably the most fun era of the game ever. It was just that first week of coming back to the faction, and they forgot about all the trolling and all the blocking and all the shit we did.
There's a 120-page thread on the boards if you want to read about it.
Yeah, there is.
Wow.
Yo, Cella's trying to close that thread. Did you see that?
Because someone brought back from the dead.
I necroed it because I wanted to get even longer, and she closed it.
All right. So, let's see. What do you guys think of Planeswalker?
We have no idea who he is.
Everybody talks about him.
Until like you guys started talking about him on the forums.
Planeswalker is a lie.
Well, what do you guys think about him from what you know about him on the forums? Because I hear a lot of East like him.
I don't think.
You don't think he's real?
I think he's pay to win. He just doesn't admit it.
No. Like, Plains actually doesn't pay shit. I know.
I think he's lying.
He doesn't.
I've never seen him before in my life.
Yeah, he
I
has
have
like
either.
5 accounts and he just does.
I don't think he's
Care
real.
Bear
I've
stuff.
never. Yeah, he's a Care Bear. How would I ever see him?
Yo, is he the guy that I saw that all he did back when that bug was out with the boat scrolls? Like he literally. Yeah, okay, I remember him. Yeah, that's all he did is he blew up his boat for like 8 hours a day to make ship scrolls.
No, that's how he's rich. He probably fucking blew his boat up like on 5 characters for fucking 6 months, and then he's just living off the scrolls, and that's how he's not pay to win. He probably has like 5 banks just full of ship scrolls, like 1 million scrolls.
Oh
and
yeah,
just
he's got
living off them. 10,000
of them according to him.
See? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
right. I
dude,
was
seriously, he literally, that's all he did in Arcade for like a month or 2 months or something. He logged in and blew up his boat for 8 hours.
You guys heard it here, confirmed. Planeswalker lives off ship regard scrolls.
All right, so back to let's go back to Catalyst. I thought of a pretty okay question. What do you guys think of them? What are your opinions on Catalyst?
Well, I'll just go first, and then I'll let everybody else pipe in. I think that they are probably pound for pound one of the best 2 guilds, if not the best guild, on the server. As far as if you're talking like pound for pound, if they could fill a raid, they'd be absolutely deadly. They probably wouldn't actually need us, but I know that they are generally hovering around the 30-person mark. I think they have a lot of skill. I think that when we were fighting them, they were pretty much like what we were trying to get our raids to be able to contend with. Whether or not that's changed recently because they have a lot of new members, probably like us, they're probably trying to rebuild and retrain their members too. But I think that their leadership and their discipline's really good, and I think that Leanne's and Elo I get along with just fine, and I think that they have the server's best interest in mind, even though they were part of a regime that didn't want to share anything with the server and did want a win at all cost thing. We just don't cling to the past after that, so we work with them. But
Insert grapefruit sound here.
Greg, yes, I was just gonna say.
I don't know, I like them.
Grapefruit.
Okay, so everybody else has like different opinions, but that was mine.
Oh, my opinion is I don't think Zerbus got his permission slip from Elu for talking about Catalyst, and he's gonna get in trouble later.
Here, I'll check for you guys.
My opinion is they're alright.
I would actually say the same thing about NACL. To be honest, like you could probably interchange NACL with most of what my statement was.
I would say they're probably like number 2 guild, and then TT6 being number 1, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I just wish there were player factions.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so yeah, sure. There's a question. What are your guys' opinions on player factions? What do you think's good about them? What do you think's bad about them?
Fuck
They
player
already
factions.
exist. It's called the pirate faction.
Yeah, that's another reason.
There's no reason that there shouldn't be player factions.
No, I don't like player. I think player factions will ruin this game.
I agree.
The good thing is it lets people like more easily work with each other. Prime example is us and Catalyst. The negative effect it has on it is that if you have no meaningful guilds on East or West because everybody is joining a player nation, then
game will die.
what what happens to all the shitters in the other faction? Like they just become uninvolved with stuff. They have no path of actually doing like the end game
do
content.
they anyhow though?
Yeah, they don't do it anyway.
Right. I mean, I have mixed feelings about it because it's like on one hand, yeah, it does this effect, but on the other hand, they're not doing this shit anyway. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I think that like I wish they were there. I wish there was a system that we could use, but I think that they would have to actually like wrap the game more around. That's what the eventuality is that people will want to go to Player Nation.
Yeah.
So what does that do to the main continents? How do you handle that? Like I believe that they want Player Nations, and I believe that they see that the system fucked up Korea.
Well, I guess we can see what happens in Russia, because didn't they just release that in Russia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we can like just watch what happens there, or Tryon can, I guess.
I don't know. I definitely think it's gonna kill the server. It's gonna create like an elitist faction, and everybody's just gonna die.
Yeah, that's what my opinion on that. What would you guys think of like a alliance type system?
If that was the case, then the pirate faction would be like killing the server right now, which they kind of are. But there's other ways to ban
Player faction allows people to be on both continents, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing. So that's the only thing that's holding pirates back.
You know, if only this game at least had a decent alliance system, like Dark Age of Camelot, for example. At least you had alliance chat. I mean,
Right.
that would be so freaking useful, and I can't believe that a game like this that came out that has everything going for it doesn't have that.
This game you can't even sort fucking gear score in your own guild. Like, this game is lacking a lot of quality of life features and a lot of like actual features.
But I could run trade packs all day.
So, what do you guys think of NACL? You guys have some experience fighting against them. I assume you've heard some stuff about them. Maybe talked to them a little bit.
I haven't talked to them. I know that they're definitely. They also have a lot of things that I said about Catalyst. They're one of the best guilds on the server. They have
one of the best.
One of the best. It's really hard to gauge NACL because when we actually were able to field 30 people, we never got the honor of like fighting NACL like straight up. Every time we fought any of the pirate guilds, there's always been other pirates involved. It goes down to that crippling debt fiasco, which we did fight them and we did win, but they won't admit it. It'd just be Fatality just running his mouth some more, and then like once you debunk one rumor, he'll just come up with another. But at NACL, like I think Jet Black's an okay guy from what limited interactions I've had with him, but
yeah, Jet's sweet.
But I think that their guild definitely has, they have gear, they have communication, and they have coordination. It's just hard to pull them apart wholly from the rest of the pirate faction, which is basically crippling some pugs.
And they have some really salty people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody has that to an
we do.
extent. Yeah. No shit. No, I agree with what Zerbus said. I think they're very organized. They're led well. They have very good leadership, and I think generally they're pretty good people. I mean, yeah, they got members in there that, like Proto said, are salty, but in general, I think they're probably a pretty entertaining group internally, and they're definitely have good organization in place, and they know what they're doing.
Yep, I've had respectful back and forths with Jet Black more than once, so I'd agree with that.
So, what do you guys think of? What do you think about the state of Curious right now? Like, how would you describe the state of Curious right now? And how do you feel about it? And what do you think needs to change to make it better, or do you just think it's good right now, whatever it may be?
I think the server's turning into Indiana. There's a lot of inbreeds. there's not a lot of people to pick from. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
more people, lots more people. I'm just waiting
Yeah.
for transfers. It would be great to have more blood.
For the server that's the largest population aside from the Fresh Start server, there's really not a lot of people to pick from, and part of that is kind of a snowball effect. So basically, you have a lot of us in our alliance and a lot of Catalyst and a lot of the pirates that are all very geared. There's a lot of gear in there, and it's very difficult for people that would genuinely be interested to really just jump into that. I mean,
Yeah.
we could sit there and bitch at our Care Bears all day long, but like the fact of the matter is like, okay, well, show up with at least this gear score, or else you're just gonna get blasted by our competition. You have to have some level of gear in order to even contend. Otherwise, you're just fodder. I mean, you saw what we did at the GR over on the west.
Yeah.
There was only 18 of us most of the time, and we were just melting most of those people. Some of them were like, oh, that guy's got a little bit of gear, so I'll just tab target to this guy and melt him. It was just a lot. This is a lot of people that just aren't there for PvP, so they don't have the PvP gear and they can't really play the PvP game.
Yeah,
It
and
needs
then they
more
say,
of the right people, not more people. I mean, you see all the GRs, the CRs, they fill up 2 hours before, but it needs the right people. We need more PvPers to pick from, like Proto said. There's
Yeah,
no one to pick
it's-
from on the East.
it's just
it's
quality of player.
absolutely horrible.
yeah,
Do you think there's
Yeah.
anything you guys or whoever could do to like inspire more people to get
To
involved
just-
with shit?
Kicking more ass and becoming stronger and organized, and that's what's going to attract more people to come from West here, or from Pirate here, or whatever. If you're talking about existing player base.
Well, I mean, like I'm talking like the people from the East, like inspiring people. I don't know. We'll just use Dossie again as an example. Like this.
they're welcome, dude. There's nothing stopping them from coming, talking to us, and saying, "Hey, you guys go do Anth. You guys go fight pirates at Delph ships. You guys do Kraken. Can we come join you for that stuff?"
Yeah, we want help.
We've
We've
invited
approached
them
them
many
all the
times.
time.
This is what I love about our alliance. I kind of disagree with that. I think these people need to get out of the guilds they're in and start applying to the 3 guilds in the alliance. We want
I
more
agree.
guilds. We don't want more trash and trash and trash out there, because even within our own alliance, like, we have a problem controlling our own members. TT6
Yeah.
has a problem with it. Warden has a problem with it. Paradigm has a problem with it. We need these people to stop making 500 guilds and start getting into the 3 guilds that matter. And unfortunately, on TT6, on the East, there's only 3 guilds that matter.
And to add to that is that every once in a while we do this thing where like we involve the greater East faction. And classic example, during one of the resets for Kraken, we brought these pugs out there. Lo and behold, weren't listening, weren't following instructions. Guess what Kraken does when you don't drop aggro?
See, I feel like Kraken's a
Rick.
really bad boss to try that out with. Just saying.
It's the pleb killer.
Yeah.
But you can fuck up a lot of the world.
Having
bosses
the
that way.
pug coming up,
She just
coming
read
to a
Paradigm
world
6
boss.
killer.
Pleb killer.
That's hard to do unless you have like your entire fucking group listening perfectly. So
Yeah, and honestly, like we're more concerned about working on in-house stuff, making
Yeah.
sure that our newer members are getting the gear, the advice, and the instructions to be able to keep doing this going forward. That's how we're building our new core.
Okay. So from my experience with what I know about at least TT6, I don't really know much about Warden except for that Proto is a very soft-spoken guy. Doesn't really shit talk like Elu does, right? What do you guys think you can do personally to like improve your guilds other than just like obviously like the doing getting more gear and shit? Like what do you think you guys need to improve the most on?
Following instruction.
Following instructions, doing what you're told,
Absolutely.
being in spec, and you know, popping the pots that we're telling you to
Just
pop.
just working together more fluidly.
And putting
Yeah.
your guild and your alliance before yourself. It's one of the biggest things. It's like, I'll hear it. I'm sure other people from other guilds will say, you know, we work our ass off every day and go out there and do Anthelon several times a day, fight whether you win or lose, and it gets expensive after a period of time. But to keep doing it and not complain about it, that's amazing, and I love that about a lot of our members. But then there's some people that don't want to do that, and it's weeding those people out and making sure that everybody's on the same page, you know, because when you have a
Yeah.
cohesive group,
When we have
it's
people that just are, you know, not going to Anthelon because they're in a GR raid, like,
yeah.
Nah.
you know,
Yeah.
we're making those sacrifices. You should too.
Actually,
Yeah.
Warden ended up kicking Jeppa, which was one of the heroes on the East faction, who was there a lot, but he decided to be more in it for himself than he was for the guild, and that's somebody we don't want.
Yeah, you can actually draw a lot of similarities from that answer also just to the rest of the faction, because I feel like a lot of the faction will invite them and their thinking is, well, am I getting loot? And it's like, no, you're not getting an Anth piece of gear the first time you come to an Anth raid. We have players that have been coming to Anth raids for a month, not asking for anything and popping pots the entire time. You know, but at the same time, if you start coming and you're actually contributing and it's, say, you've been there a week every day or a couple weeks, like, yeah, you'll get your fair share, and we've shared that with everybody. It's basically just greed. I mean, it's like, well, I'm not directly benefiting right now, so why should I help everybody else, basically, is what it is. I
Yeah,
can't stand
Guilds
that
want a
either.
fair share of loot the first time they show up, which, you know, our guilds go out there for weeks on end without anything to show. Like, we don't get shit just because we show up. You get shit because you work hard and you work at it for a long time.
And then there's another side to that too, is that there's guilds that just we've talked to on an individual basis, on, you know, on a side, like, you know, just me and their guild leader or whatever, and there's just a lot of animosity that their members can't get over. Like, okay, they hate TT6, you know, because we stole somebody's fucking hauler one day or something, and they can't get over that. Or they hate wardens because of, you know, some fucking ancient shit that went down with PRX. You know, like, clean.
Yeah, there is a
I mean,
lot of that.
there's a lot of people that have been in the server that are just absolutely just unwilling to let go of, like, you know, they're content calling themselves victims and us the villains, and they just have no interest in putting that aside, and we're fine with that.
Yo, if I can put aside all the bad things Boom Boom has done to me, they can too.
If only Spodos' Wall of Salt still existed.
We're gonna make a new one, remember?
Yeah, we need to.
Wall of shit.
Wall of shitters.
Alright. Let's think. So is there anything you guys can think to talk about? Anything else that I haven't brought up? Zerbus, I assume this is the question that you're gonna be the one to answer?
What was the question?
Okay. Stuff that there's still to talk about. Some stuff that I may not have brought up. Like, what do you think are some other issues or like events that need to be, or that would be good to discuss?
I think I've pretty much shoehorned a lot of my sentiments into all the other answers. You know, like the whole thing about how I don't even understand faction loyalty. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand why people don't want to do the endgame stuff. I find this game without that thing incredibly boring. Without
Jitters, aren't you colorblind?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's why you don't see fucking green or red. I get it.
Got me.
Got him.
Okay.
Figured out why he doesn't see faction loyalty, because it's all the same color to him.
So here's just a theoretical question in a sense. What do you think, other than transfers, of course, what do you think could be one thing that could completely just change the dynamic of the server? Something,
I
something
don't think
other
there
than
is, because the
No,
only
I
thing
know.
there's only two things that can happen, okay? And they both involve the pirate factions, in my opinion. So one is that old Gank Bus goes back to Gank Bus, and Gank Bus becomes a thing again, and then West gets strengthened. That changes the dynamic. Number two is that Crippling Debt and NACl have a falling out, which doesn't seem likely. But the reason why that wouldn't make a difference is because everybody, for the most part, in Crippling Debt, at least the people that are in charge of Crippling Debt, is pretty much demonized themselves from us to such a large degree that I don't see how it would ever be feasible that we'd ever work with the people from there if they ever flip back east. I don't see if there's anything in the cards for what the server currently has to make this dynamic any different.
Yo, I know what we could do. We could Catalyst, what's left of Gank Bus, TT6, Wardens, Paradigm, we all roll Pirate and just fucking make Pirate Island miserable for them until they quit.
That would be awesome.
I'm down for that.
That's
I am
so
too.
fucking sweet.
You just camp the fucking town with all of all of us. We'll just have one big guild called fuck NACl.
We'll just call it AIDS.
We'll call it AIDS, and we'll just make it. Your life will be. You will not be able to live on that island.
That is great. You should
Some
totally
shit
do that.
Yeah,
We've
let's
done that in the
name it
past.
That's actually
Name the
such
guild.
a good idea.
We'll all get one
No,
guild.
we'll call it. You know what? We'll call it Pepper.
Stage 4 cancer.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Well, chemotherapy.
I think the other thing that might change things is obviously game mechanics or lowering the barrier of entry for new people. Because I think there's a lot of probably potential great players that are just stuck because
Oh, they did though,
it takes
right?
a long ass time. They did. I still think that there could be changes to RNG and all that other shit that.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
What would really change it is if they fix the blocking rule, so we could go back to blocking freaking everything.
Okay, so to you guys, to each of your guilds, or to each of you personally, what do you think one of those good players you guys talk about consists of? Like what are the traits you look for in somebody you want to be working with you, coming out to your world bosses with you, stuff like that?
Can I answer this?
Yeah.
From Warden's point of view, the people that I just love are the ones that theory craft, they pay attention to min-maxing, they're self-sufficient, they know how to play, they don't bitch, they don't cause drama, they show up, they're in team speak, they communicate, and they play well. That's it.
Yeah, for me, the absolute biggest thing for me that stands out, and obviously all that other stuff's important, like skill level. You can teach skill level to an extent, but you know, the biggest thing for me is just greed. Like, I'm the kind of player that will simply go to guild events. I've always been that way, and I don't want anything out of it. Like, yeah, stuff comes out of it eventually, just because that's the way it works. But you know, people who come to events just because it's our alliance event and they want to be there to help, and they're not going to sit there and say, hey, I haven't gotten an amp piece in a week, like, what the fuck, I'm not coming anymore. Like, people that come and they just want to be there and help and have fun and just not bitch, like Proto said, like, yeah, that's, for me, that's like the biggest factor, definitely.
The pirates can kill the server really fast if they could siege.
Yep.
Maybe that's gonna happen tomorrow. What's this shit about that happening tomorrow?
We could form Pepper even sooner.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be great. I'd totally do that. It sounds less crazy the more and more you think about it, to be honest.
Yo, the
Yep.
pirates don't know about our secret weapon though. For
Yeah.
The thing
sieges.
about
Nope,
that
they
idea,
don't.
that idea was executed on Olo pretty successfully by TT6 and friends.
What, they go into the pirate faction and making it hell?
Basically going to pirate faction and just making it complete hell, so they couldn't do anything in the server for many months.
See, the thing that's fucking crazy about NACL is they would probably love that shit too.
Oh,
They
it
would-
was fun.
they
It
would
was
probably
constant
love it.
PvP. Fucking a never dull moment.
Yeah, when TT6 was pirate, like we loved that. We ate that shit up. We were outnumbered, but we were fucking with people, killing them constantly. I think that there's some pirates that don't have as great of testicular fortitude that would definitely, you know, just go around to their fishing raids. You know, we
Yeah,
killed
that-
these 3 fishermen tonight, and like this one guy just getting all fucking butthurt and salty. Like, thanks for cracking. Like, congratulations on your fucking necklace.
It only took you 5 hours to get it.
Yeah, I think personally, from what I know about NACL, like I've talked to Jetblack. We talked last night, and I've got a couple friends in there. Like they seem pretty legit, but I also think that like there's some people who kind of joined it, but they joined it for the wrong reasons. Like they just kind of joined it because they were that guild, right? That they could benefit from joining there. So-
Canna.
Which joined because she ran out of fucking people that would play with her.
Wasn't expecting anyone to come.
So,
Yeah.
like, I feel like, yeah, I feel like maybe doing that, your secret mission plan, like I feel like that could definitely like whittle them down a little bit. But I still feel like, in the end, you'd still have the core of NACL that has been so strong and whatnot.
Yeah, they'll always have their core. I mean, at most guilds, successful guilds run because there's, you know, a main core or main leader that, you know, stays behind the guild and keeps it running.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Catalyst is always gonna have, you know, Lucio's Boom Boom and Leon, right? You know, TT6 is always gonna have me and Nasty and, you know, a lot of the other people that have been with us for ages. And there's always cores that stay and go. I mean, and there's also people that bandwagon. I mean, for a while, TT6 was starting to get like a lot of attention. We started ballooning up. We had to prune some members, and some members had to leave. I mean, people are attracted to, you know, levels of success, and sometimes that's exactly the motivation that they require to join a guild.
All right. Trying to think, what else is there to ask?
Just really hope tomorrow has some real sieges.
Yeah. What do you guys know much about that?
Pirates have 3 scrolls. Don't know what they're gonna do with them.
Oh, pirates have 3 scrolls. I've heard different.
Well, we've already seen pirates declare, like from their old guilds, they've used alts to declare the sieges.
Okay. So what are your guys' opinions on just Arcade as a game right now? Like, what do you think's good about it? What do you think needs to change? What do you enjoy about the game?
You skipped. What did you hear?
Yeah, what'd you hear?
Oh, dude, no. Curious News Oath. I can't say that. Okay, so what are your guys' opinion on Arcade as a game? Good, bad? What do you like about it? What do you hate about it?
This game sucks, but there's nothing better, so it's pretty good.
Sadly, that's kind of true.
Yeah.
It's the only game where you can do whatever the hell you want, really.
Honestly,
Yeah,
if I had known how much money I was gonna spend in the beginning, I wouldn't have joined.
No shit.
How long
Oh
you
wait,
guys
never
been
mind.
playing?
I'm free to play. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. Mister, how many millions of credits did you have?
None. Never swiped once. Nope.
And Proto actually runs a BR like gold website. That's how he gets all his money.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's not true.
I'll be sure to post that part on the forums.
That really is not true.
Okay.
It's not true. I'm messing with you.
Proto
It's
sounds
actually
so
Kenny.
worried.
It's actually Kenny, not Proto.
Kenny's too stupid to run something like that.
Alright. Well, it's been about an hour, so I think we'll get to the generic questions now. Alright, so going down the list. Boxers or briefs?
Free ball.
Free ball?
Yeah, free ball and 24/7.
I feel ya. Angriff, boxers or briefs, bro?
That's not what your fucking Afro cat said.
Boxers,
Charge.
obviously.
Boxers.
Yo,
Those
Nice.
look like briefs to me. Just saying.
Boxers, for sure. Boxers.
Boxers. Keep it going. Zerbus.
How can you fucking tidy whiteys, man? That's like
Look at
Constricted.
Chargeback's fucking character.
Nah, definitely boxers.
Come on, Zerbus. You can give me a fucking paragraph about this shit, dude.
Well, I mean, there's nothing more to say about it other than I don't want my fucking nuts overheating.
That's why you go fucking commando, bro. It's like wind blowing. Get off of work, just throw on a pair of sweatpants. You got nothing bothering you down there.
Okay.
Mando.
Alright, what's the best brand of ketchup?
Heinz. Hello.
There's only one brand.
There's actually more than
Oh,
one
there's
brand.
other brands.
No, there's only one brand.
Yo, I've tried the other brands and they actually really do suck really bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
There's this all natural
Horrible.
brand I like to get called Annie's. It's a lot more.
You
But
would
basi-
get some
Yeah.
organic.
It's fucking awesome
ketchup.
though.
Zerbus,
Wow.
you're the only person so far who has
you-
not answered
You
Heinz.
buy fucking paraffin-free bottles and shit, don't you?
No. Let me tell you like what you know.
Oh, here
why,
we go.
why I want you to all look down while you're sitting in a chair and look at your fucking guts, and then I want you to
Give
say
peace
that's
a
all because of
chance.
high fructose corn syrup. Fuck you.
Yeah, but it tastes fucking good, so who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
I look down and I have nothing on.
Just your balls wagging like an overexcited bee's tail.
Exactly.
Okay. Alright, so next question. What is the best flavor of Coke and why is it vanilla Coke?
Cherry Coke.
Fuck off. Charge
Yeah,
that.
cherry. Hell yeah. Cherry.
What the hell?
Cherry
Seriously?
crust, vanilla.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit,
There you go,
vanilla
Zerbus. This is
for
why.
sure.
Yeah.
Nah, Coke
This-
Zero.
This is why Warden's the best.
Gross.
That's not a flavor. That's like a downgrade. That's like taking the flavor out.
I like that other shit. It reminds me of like cream soda or something. Ugh.
I like it.
Yeah, I actually like cream soda a lot.
You would, Mr. White Angel.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Alright, what are your guys' spirit animals? Starting with Angriff.
A beetle?
A beetle. Care to
What?
elaborate?
I don't know, dude. It's the first thing that came to mind.
It must be destined. then.
Beetles are very strong creatures for their body weight, so that's why.
So you're just solid like weight to strength ratio.
Like a beetle. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Plus, beetles were in Ultima Online, and they could carry the most weight for a
Yeah,
male.
Beatles were badass
So-
in Ultima Online.
Exactly. There you go.
I never played Ultima Online. I wish I did.
I don't know, man. Those
You
polar
missed
bears.
out.
Alright.
I
Nasty.
enjoyed the pack horses. Just kidding.
I'd have to say like turtle, dude.
Turtle. Why turtle? They can
Because
just
they
be
got-
completely commando, but still be
'Cause they-
sheltered
Yeah.
inside their shell.
Because they can go inside their shell.
Because they got like ancient wisdom and stuff. So yeah.
No, no.
Oh, that
they're the
fits you
ultimate.
perfectly,
They're the
Charge Rack.
ultimate tractor blockers. Think about it. Go across the road.
Slow
Cars
moving.
stop.
They're slow moving. You know, they're just fucking tanks, dude.
I
Turtle.
feel you. Alright, Proto. You're probably like a fucking elk or some shit, some majestic.
Proto's a turkey.
I would say. I would say a falcon.
A falcon, yeah.
See, majestic.
Basically, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just love birds of prey.
Yeah. Alright, Zerbus.
Yada.
Yada. That's not a real animal, is it?
No,
It is to
don't tell
me.
him that shit.
Yo, you can't tell that to the
Have you saw
I've
my
seen
house?
his house. Shit's crazy.
You're right. Alright, Let's see. I forget what the what the next generic question is. Let me check. I have my question list somewhere. All right, so here. I got a few more questions here. I promised Chargeback that there would be some questions that would put TT6 in a good light and TT6 in a bad light, and he's got to be ready to answer both, right? So, Chargeback, what are your responses to all of the claims when it comes to exploiting and hacking and stuff like that for TT6?
What hacking, what exploiting?
I don't know, like the reasons
Honor
you,
exploit from
yeah,
Olo.
stuff like that, and
There was about 300 people who got in trouble for that honor exploit on Olo, and at that time TT6 was a 15-man guild, which 8 of them got in trouble. So we were a very, very, very small portion of that honor exploit.
Everything's TT6's fault.
But it's our fault.
Ask
So,
the East.
Allegedly.
allegedly, there's been 8 people that got in trouble who don't even play this game anymore.
okay. Alright, well that was a bit more lame than I thought it would be. What are you guys' opinions on Fallout 4? We're back to the generic questions here.
I
It's
don't know.
good.
I gotta pirate it soon to play it.
Wow.
I mean, I gotta buy it soon to play it.
Admitting to the illegal exploiting already. Damn. Is
I haven't
there
had any time to play it at all.
no
Man,
time?
I haven't gotten around to it. Like, it's on the to-do list. Someday I'll do it. Well, I
Damn,
want to
even-
enjoy it. I
Even
don't want to
beat
like
it
rush
the
through it.
day after. Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
I'm sure he rushed through it and he probably played it on a computer and he used fucking codes because I would. I'm just gonna wait until like I can actually sit down and have like a proper enjoyment of it. Like I have a fucking long list of games I haven't played. I still haven't fucking played Witcher 3.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest regrets. Is I
Ooh,
sit
that's
there, I have
good.
a PS4 with Witcher 3. I haven't touched it. Like, I'm maybe 30 minutes in, and that's it. And I know it's an amazing game, but this fucking arcade.
Yeah,
So true.
exactly.
There's always shit going on. And it's like,
Fucking
hey,
arcade.
Yeah.
you need to like skip out on work today because we got fucking cracking up today. But,
So true. Alright, the last and most important question. After an hour and 7 minutes of cancerous talking with Tractor Team 6, and then of course the beautiful Proto, what are your guys' opinions on garlic bread?
That shit
Same.
good.
Anybody who doesn't like garlic bread is dead to me.
you don't like garlic bread? Get the fuck out.
See, this is why I fucking love TT6. Now, Proto, what is your response to
User
that?
left your channel.
I
User
agree
joined your
completely.
channel.
You agree completely?
KOS anybody that doesn't like garlic bread?
Damn. Man, I should really re-roll East.
Yo,
I've been contemplating
Do
it,
it.
to be honest.
yo, Proto said he'll feed you gear. Let's go.
Really? I would so do it if I got like power leveled and like given gear and
Yeah,
shit.
he's got a full healing set for it.
Really?
Yep,
I would
full
love to be healer.
Iron life.
He's
full
got
set.
he's got 3 like
Oh,
iron
damn,
ends. He
we'll
can
work
let you
this
get
shit
one.
out. We'll work this
Oh.
shit out.
You know what they call me in heal mode?
How, do you actually
Yeah.
have 1300
Pro L?
healing power?
Shit,
Yeah.
healing other shit.
That's
Yo, his
crazy.
name is. You know how you guys have Joel? He's Pro L.
That's hilarious. Alright, well, I guess that concludes this fun talk with Tractor Team 6 and Proto.
All right, Xanon, take us away for the closing words.
Yes, please.
Grapefruit it.
Go for it, Xanon. Alrighty.
Alex, did you ever get around to watching when TT6 was on Doc's stream?
Yeah, I watched the